This took me like freaking 30 minutes to get going. So can we just admire this beautiful fire right here, okay? This took me a long time to make. Cool. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another video. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've actually done a sit down video. And this is actually kind of one of my first story time videos. I know that's so cringy and horrible, but I think that it's fitting for the fall/Halloween season. So I'm going to be talking today about how I got in a knife fight with a pumpkin. It's true. I actually got in a knife fight with a pumpkin. And the pumpkin won. That's the thing. Let's go back in time, okay? So I was 13 or 14 years old. I was in middle school. And I was going to carve a pumpkin. I was having a good old time. I'm an overachiever as well. We should probably note that. So I wasn't just gonna carve out, you know, a basic eyes, nose, and mouth, because that's boring. Everybody does that. Why would I want to do the same thing as everybody else? Because I'm complicated. Here's a rough sketch recreation of about what I did. It's like a rabbit with, you know, a moon and some stars. You can imagine, you know, I already had a difficult task at hand. I was watching Corpse Bride. That movie still, when it comes on, scars me of this moment. I had this design for the pumpkin, and I drew it out with Sharpie on the pumpkin, okay? The rabbit, the moon, the stars. Cool. And then, you know, I just start carving away, carving out my rabbit and my moon and my stars. And honestly, I was doing a freaking good job. You know how sometimes the bits of Sharpie are still on there after you carve it, so you want to take like a rag and wipe it off? So I had all of it done except the moon, and I thought I'd just go ahead and, you know, wipe the pumpkin down, which was mistake one because this made the pumpkin wet. I wiped the pumpkin down to get the Sharpie bits off, and then I grabbed a paring knife. I'm starting to slice out the crescent moon, and then as I'm cutting the moon, and my hand is here on the pumpkin, the knife slips off and stabs my arm.
Jeepers! Jinkies!
Dang, I still don't have a catchphrase.
I carved my own self. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is when the knife went into my arm. I still have the scar too. I'm really pale, so it might not show up. I don't know if you guys can see the scar here. It's faded now because it's been a few years. This was where the knife went in at, and this is where I had to have surgery. When the knife went into my arm, it didn't just stab me, it hit my artery in my arm. So when I pulled the knife out of my arm, I just kind of was like spurting blood everywhere like a horror film, and it was all over the house, all over the pumpkin. I let out like this blood-curdling scream and like slammed my hand over the arm. My mom came running. I've never seen this woman run as fast as she did in my entire life. Okay, because my mom, like our family, look, we don't run, okay? Running is not a thing we do. But this woman, she sprinted. I have never seen her run this fast in my life. And we grabbed a dish towel, put it on my arm, and within like a minute, the dish towel was soaked. We got our shoes and stuff on. I don't even think I had my shoes on. She had hers on. And I just kind of ran out to the car barefoot because we were heading to the ER at this point. I was just terrified that I was going to bleed out to death. So we get in the car to go to the ER, and I'm just holding this, screaming and praying that I don't die. I was hysterical, okay? Because when you see that much blood come out of your body, it trips you, man. We drive down our driveway, and at the end of our driveway was a freaking car accident blocking the driveway. And there was a whole bunch of police officers because apparently two cars had collided together and like crashed into a pole. Which happens a lot. We get a like car accident like once a week on our curb there. They need to put up a guardrail. It's crazy. There was a car accident there. We couldn't get out of our driveway, so we had to be like, yeah, can we just like, can you guys move? So we kind of had to drive in the grass around. We get to the hospital. We're at the children's hospital too, urgent care, and my shirt is soaked with blood. The dish towel is soaked with blood. My mom has blood on her, And we're just kind of sitting in the waiting room. They're like, okay, just have a seat. And I'm like, no, lady, I don't think you understand. I'm gonna bleed out to death. And she's like, just have a seat in the waiting room. We waited like 20 minutes and I'm just sitting there in shock. And there's like these little kids like looking at me like terrified because I have blood all over me. They take me to the back. I start to throw up because I've lost so much blood that I am like completely nauseous and lightheaded, and yeah, I basically threw up everywhere, which is great. At this point, it had stopped bleeding. They stitched me up and they sent me home, and I didn't go to school the next day because I was traumatized. I thought, okay, I'll be fine. I just stabbed myself. It was cool. But they did not know that I had nicked the artery in my arm. I didn't cut it, sever it completely, which is why they didn't notice. I just kind of nicked it. So for 2 weeks, I had these stitches on my arm, and I could not move my arm because I was bleeding inside of it for 2 weeks. So my whole arm was like purple. I think, I'm gonna look really hard. I'm pretty sure I have a picture. This is a picture of it, if I find it. Then when they're like, yeah, we're gonna take the stitches out, I went to take them out myself, and as soon as I took the stitches out, I'm so sorry if this is like really gross, my stitched up cut swelled up and ripped open, and more blood just started gushing out of it. I couldn't move my arm was stiff, and then my family thought I was like faking it. They're like, why is she crying about her arm? Like, she's fine, she has stitches, she's just, you know, being a big baby. It got to the point where my hand was just numb the whole time. Just numb. And my arm was just, you know, it was in pain. I held it like this, like it was broken for like 2 weeks because it hurt so bad, and I didn't know why, because there was all this pressure building up inside my arm. We go back to the hospital and I start throwing up again because, yeah, that's what you do when you start gushing more blood out of your body. You just puke. They wheelchaired me around and they did a little ultrasound thingy. Yeah, I love my parents. They paid for a very expensive surgery. They sealed off my artery here in my arm. So they have one good main artery, since the other one's kind of sealed off. That usually happens to old people. They usually seal off arteries in old people, but I guess I'm just an old lady. It makes sense. After that, you can imagine I was pretty much over Halloween. I didn't like Halloween. I didn't want fall anymore. I just wanted Christmas. So I was sitting in the hospital room after my surgery. I was all alone, nobody was in there, and I woke up and I was really confused. This was the first big surgery too, by the way, so I was just like, what? But later my dad came in. He bought me a box of Christmas cookies, and then there was like, we had Hallmark, there's like a TV in there. I played freaking Hallmark Christmas movies, and I didn't give a crap, because at this point I was like, I'm done with Halloween, I'm sick of it, I hate it, I don't want it anymore, because I had went through this traumatizing experience. To this day, I still can't feel my arm. This here is pretty much numb. I'm kind of getting feeling back on some parts of it, but for the most part, my arm is pretty numb. I don't really feel much there. Sometimes I get jolts of pain too, because all the bleeding in my arm caused like nerve damage, and I just can't get it back. If you carve a pumpkin this year, please do it safely. Don't do what I did and have to spend thousands of dollars on surgery. So be safe this Halloween season. If you like this video, these kind of sit down talking videos, you can give this one a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel. I'm a small channel. Support me. I will see you guys hopefully soon. Hopefully I can get these out consistent. College is crazy. Yeah. Alright. Stay tuned. I'll see you guys later. Bye.